Hey lovelies, the following video does include spoilers, so make sure to read the title of this video. If you haven't read those chapters, please press pause, read up, and I will be waiting for you when you get back. Y'all, that ending was a lot. Hey guys, welcome back to Lore Book Club. I am Cassidy and we have officially finished Quicksilver. Huge round of applause. We did it. Let's get into it. Now that we are officially done, I don't know. The premise of this book is so good, so promising. The details within it, the relationships, the love story, no, it was an absolute miss for me. I don't understand the overall Kingfisher hype. I was really hoping that we were gonna get like to some huge precipice finale, but it just didn't happen. We start off at the foot of the dais. Ceres is there with Carrie and Swift and Loreth, and they see Kingfisher at the bottom of the stairs. He's bloody. He looks like he's been through battle. He's got gore on his wrists. Don't know what that means. And he is sweaty. Again, he's wet. That man loves being sweaty. He's sitting there and he's like, you shouldn't be there. He's talking down the bond and he's like, I was trying to avoid this. And Ceres is gagged, but she is nowhere near as gagged than when she looks up and sees Malcolm flanked by Queen motherfucking Madra and the ugly ass Belcon. Those three evil bitches are brothers and sisters. Hate, hate, hate. All three of them. Evil, rotten skunks. Belcon is like, can't you feel it in the air? It's death in the air. Your magic isn't like good here. And I'm just like, shut up. I actually don't like you. I haven't liked you from the day I met you, which was like chapter 3. Pisses me off. They're all saying brother, sister. They're in some weird little community of evilness and they're just pissing me off. And it's looking really, really bad for our friends. As I predicted earlier, Belcon admits that it was not Kingfisher's dad that closed the gates. It was Queen Madra. Saw that coming from a mile away. And they all were like, it's crazy what a millennia can do for you. And you're like, we're gonna shut up. I hate those three. I just, ugh. Exhausting. Nothing good about you. They're all absolutely gagged when they realize that the audience that is like screaming Amaranth more is like 200,000 burned to a crisp, melting eyeball fae, which was very visceral. And those evil, no good doers are like, Kingfisher, should we release you from your oath? If we're gonna release you from your oath and then you can let all your friends know how horrible you are, okay? I don't know what they thought they were doing. They thought they were cooking with gas, but they were literally just cooking with a hot plate because I don't know what they thought they were doing. They were like, everybody's gonna turn on you. No, we're not. So Kingfisher is released from his oath and he's finally allowed to speak freely. And thank God, because if I had to like handle one more chapter of like, I'd like to tell you, I was gonna lose my mind. We learned that during the festival of the first song, there is like a distraction on the war front. Oh, and Belcon says a quote, which is absolutely gag worthy, and I did like it. He said, war? We haven't been at war, you fool. I've simply been feeding my brother's army. That gagged me. Not gonna lie, that was some good writing because like 100%, he's like, bombarded all the silver, which is the only thing that can kill the horde, and he's like been giving no rations or no help to the people. So that was like, I liked that. I liked that he was like, there's no war, you guys are actually idiots, which crazy. So anyway, during the festival of the first song, Gilithir is having a big old festival, having a big old party, and the horde attacks the town. 200,000 high fae, low fae are going to be killed. The army cannot get there in time, so Kingfisher's like, I'm bringing 7 of my best men against like 200,000 evil horde people, zombies, and we're going to save the day. Obviously not gonna happen. No way that's gonna happen. He leaves the group and he goes to talk to Malcolm because he's gonna kill him, but then he sees Belcon, who we learn did, in fact, which I predicted, kill his mother. He was like, she was a shitty oracle, so I slit her throat. Crazy behavior. And also when Fisher was like, actually, she didn't lie. You just kind of can't handle the truth that like your future is like desolate. So he slit her throat. Crazy. Very sad. There's a huge coin toss and it's basically putting the brink of the world in the palms of this tiny little piece of silver. And Malcolm, this is what I mean. And like, it's kind of ironic because Kingfisher got a taste of his own medicine about reading the fine print because Malcolm said, if the coin hits the ground, Malcolm snatched that coin out of thin air, and yeah, Fishy was he was in for a treat after that. So he didn't read the fine print. He ends up burning 200,000 high fae and low fae in order for them not to become vampire zombies. I guess Malcolm and Bellicon and Madra thought everybody was gonna be like, why would you do that? But like, it makes sense. So I think that's what I would do. Like I'm ever gonna be in that position. Madra's then toying with Fisher and he says, fear the shadows, bitch. I'm made of them. Kinda gagged. That was cool. I did really like that. She was scared. Like she was terrified. And I kind of loved that. He was like, you sterilized my mate and I'm going to absolutely ruin you for it. I do like that that bothered him so deeply. Good for you, Kingfisher. You get a tick in my book. But he says the most insane quote. He goes, you spayed my mate when she was a fucking child. For that alone, I'll make your undying existence an unending agony. An eternity of suffering the likes of which even your evil mind cannot comprehend. You'll know no peace at my hands. I will destroy your empire and erase your name from the annals of time. When I am done with your legacy, Madra the Undying will never have existed, and you'll live on at my behest, suffering for all of eternity, and no one will know, and no one will care. I mean, he gagged me. It was, Can you imagine if so, like, that's like the ultimate read. He like read her to absolute filth. Malcolm's gross. I know I said that he was kind of hot. I don't like him anymore. Hard pass. We then learned that there was a Quicksilver pool under the labyrinth that he was like running around in for 110 years. Sounds like an absolute nightmare. What a dive. And when the Quicksilver was activated, when Ceres turned the sword, he jumped into the Quicksilver to go save her and thus started our story, Quicksilver. Carrion Swift, also my favorite character, has such a mouth on him and he's like yapping off to Malcolm. Malcolm is like, you smell bad, crazy. And he's like got him by the neck and he's like, I can't wait to drain the life out of you. And Carrion Swift is like baiting him on and I'm like, are you good? You're a human and you have all these vampires that and like evil fae and like undying monarch. It's just, you're out of your element. That's what I was thinking at least. And then Kingfisher goes full Shadow Daddy mode and he says, I don't need magic to mess you up, you This is for me, but mostly it's for my parents. Calling somebody you is one of my favorite things. So I did appreciate that. Hell breaks all loose and Heron is like, I'm undying. Queen Madra granted me eternal life. I can't die. Like death forgot my name. And then Ceres quips back with like the most insane thing. And I read it like this. Oh, wait a minute. I think death just remembered your name, Heron. And then I snapped his neck. Crazy. That's the kind of Ceres I like. I do like it when she's like a scrappy little kind of gal. And that was cool. Madra's devastated. She like screams Heron. So did she grant him eternal life because they were lovers? Guess we'll never know because Captain Heron is dead. R.I.P. Heron once again. Bye, Pookie. Kingfisher is yelling at everybody to get into the labyrinth, which I thought was a very strong choice because it took him like 110 years to get out of it, but I guess there was nowhere else to go. They enter the labyrinth and Malcolm is like, this is my domain. I'm gonna eat you all alive. Then they're turning this way, this way, this way, this way, and that, this way, and that, this way, and that. Then they enter the horror zone of the spooky little half-fae, blind, big mouth spider demon. I'm okay with spiders, but that was a little much for me. That thing was creepy. So they're freaking out. Carrion's like, what am I gonna do? Because I just ran into it and it's gonna kill me. They're like, cling to the walls. Okay. And Fisher's like, Ceres, you need to find the Quicksilver, tap into it, and we need to find it. She's like, on it. They get through. The demon spider monkey is on chase. They're slashing his legs. They're stabbing him in the gut. Lorith finally gets him in the head and he dies. And then Fisher's like, oh yeah, he's dead, but he'll respawn smaller and quicker. Great. Cool. Malcolm keeps trying to block their way and he's like, this is my domain. You're not going to get through. But Ceres just has that pull from the Quicksilver that is so strong and they're getting there, and then they enter the room of coins. What an absolute piss take of how many coins were in that room. Absolutely a humongous piss take. I would have lost my mind if I was Kingfisher. 8 years in that room looking through the coins. It's like that guy who lost like 8,000 bitcoins on a hard drive and he's been searching in like a garbage landfill for the past like 15 years. Shitty. The three evil villains also like climb over the top and they're like, and Bellicon's there and I'm like, die. Oh, Bellicon. Pisses me off. They call themselves the Triumvirate, which means they can't die unless they all die. And Bellicon, which solidified, I already hate him, but he was like, I don't care if Everlane dies because she is like, if she's a means to an end, then that's fine. Hate you, King Bellicon. Everlane is the sweetest little angel baby and you suck. Ceres is tapping into the energy of the coins and she's like, all of these bitches are fake. These are counterfeit. And then she's like, let me find it. And she's like, it's ringing back there. She goes running, everything's dark, she's alone, seems scary. It's like when you're playing hide and go seek at nighttime and you're just terrified. Yeah, that's exactly what I pictured. So none of the coins have Quicksilver in them because Malcolm's walking on them, and if Silver touched him, he would die. So they're like, these are on illusion or like magic or something. Carrion starts mouthing off, and I was so scared. My little heart was doing this because I love Carrion Swift. And he was like egging on Malcolm, and he was like, blah, 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 blah. He was getting in his face. Malcolm bite. Carrion then says, you should have let me finish my introduction, which worked. And he says, I am Carrion Dianthus, firstborn son of Tyrol and Amelia Dianthus. Malcolm starts bleeding profusely out of his mouth, and gray smoke is going everywhere. And he's like, you made me bite it. Blah. Carrion is then like revealed to be some lord at the time. I didn't know what he was yet. No wonder I loved him. I knew he was a good one. Deep in my soul, I knew he had to be Fae. She then realizes that the Quicksilver is like deep in the gullet of the demon spider. And she's like, fuck. So she climbs in, she gets it. Quicksilver's talking to her, and she is like, Kingfisher, I love him. He's my mate. She says the L word, big day for Ceres. Then Malcolm comes up around the corner and he's like, give me the coin, little girl. And I'm like, Malcolm, didn't you just like bleed out your mouth? I hate him. I hate all three of these villains. Like there's nothing about them that I like. Malcolm is melting like the Wicked Witch, and it is revealed that Ceres must be a half-blood Fae. We get the tea. That's what I've been saying. There has to be something within her bloodline that makes her strong. Malcolm gets the coin because it takes him like 1 second. He literally is like, give me the coin. And she's like, and then he starts counting her tattoos, and he's like, earth, air, fire, water, salt, brimstone, Quicksilver. And he's like, I've never seen a stronger alchemist. So she's like the almighty alchemist. She's like, I guess has control over all the elements, not just Quicksilver, which I'm like, why have we not seen any of that yet? Like even like sprinkles of it. You know, but guess we didn't get that far. Malcolm is like spewing his like inner monologue to Ceres, being like, I just want to bite him. I just want to bite him so bad. And I'm like, please, Malcolm. Ceres takes her dagger and stabs him in the throat. And he's like, you stupid girl. But like she does, our queen of distraction. She grabs the little leather pouch. He grabs it off of her and he's like, na 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 boo boo. And she's got the coin. Crazy. I also liked that kind of mirrored when she kissed Fisher at the beginning to steal his ring. I liked that. I'm like, once a thief, always a thief. She drops the coin, the souls are released. The wind comes, Madra jumps into the Quicksilver to escape, and Ceres says one of my favorite things. She goes, only the gods are eternal, and just chops his head off. Madness. So she's dying because Malcolm had like put his hand in her stomach. Once again, stomach issues for her. She just keeps getting attacked in her stomach. She's dying. Teladius comes out of nowhere and he's like, nice. Like Kingfisher's like calling him Tal, and I'm like, who is this guy? They're like, she's gonna die. We need to figure this out. And he's like, I'm gonna give her a piece of my soul. And she's like, if you dare do that, it's donezo. I will reject our mating bond in this life and the next. Crazy. So he doesn't do that. Teladius bites her. She turns into a vampire. He's also like, there's seconds left. Tell me she consents. And he makes a decision for her saying she consents. Interesting. Quicksilver had said, we just want a little favor. She's like, okay, cool. The shadow gate is there. They're ready to jump through. And the Quicksilver's like, we want an audience with you. And she's like, okay. She gets yeeted so fast across like the entire labyrinth and just gets drowned in a Quicksilver pool and comes to with two little sweet angel girls giggling, being like, what's it like to bang fish? And I was like, okay, work queens. They're like 19 and they're like, we want to do that, but we're not allowed. She then realizes that these are Baal and Mithrin, the two sun sister gods. And she's like, oh shit, like I'm in above my head. Like I'm with the gods. She's like in this beautiful rolling fields. And they're like, you need to come meet our father. And lo and behold, who is it? The god of chaos and change, Zareth. We learned that Zareth has been trying to separate them for like eternity, and that their paths always come together, which I like. You can't interfere with soulmates. I thought it was crazy that she was supposed to be born Fae, and then he like interfered so that she would be born human. That was super cool. And Ceres basically has to make the decision to untether her life from like the gods' plan in order to make her own decisions so that the other gods and goddesses can't interfere with her life and her decisions. And the tree's dying. And when he's like wishes away all those leaves and he's like billions of lives, I was like, okay, that's crazy. So he's like, what's your decision? She's like, sure. And he's like, okay, good luck. tell Fisher I said hi, and just throws her in the Quicksilver. And I pictured Jane from Twilight with the immortal child being thrown into the fire pit. She dies, I guess. I think her humanity dies, and she's like going through eternity, it feels like. And then she wakes up in a room. It's revealed from Teladius that she's half vampire, half fae, but she's no longer human. She has her pointy ears and pointy teeth, and it's like this whole new version of Sarah's Fane. We then learn that Carrion Swift, my love, is the heir to the Fae throne, and that Kingfisher's father smuggled him out in order to protect him. And it's so cool that Kingfisher was the one who brought him back. I really like him. And it was kind of funny when Sarah was like, I've known you since I was 15. And he was like, and I've known you since I was 1,056. I was like, lol. We learn Everlane is alive, which I'm so happy about because I hope we get a lot more of her in the next book. Carrion affected Malcolm so deeply because his bloodline made the blood curse, which is why Malcolm was like, just like melting off his bones because of biting him. And that Telena and Isabel have been able to work with Kingfisher to make the Quicksilver in him a little bit better. So he's like doing good. Pretty wrapped up happy ending. And a crazy ending that Sarah's Fane killed Malcolm. So she is now the new queen of Sansaroth. He's like, bitch. Overall, I'm gonna give the book a 3.5 out of 5. I like a lot of elements of it, but I don't believe it. I think it felt quite rushed. I think if it had just been like fleshed out a little bit more and that we had like taken our time with the lover's arc, I think I would have liked it better. I like the alchemy that feels really new and fresh. I thought I was gonna like it more. I've been like really looking forward to reading Quicksilver for a long time, so I was a little disappointed, but I liked the ending of it. It's made me excited for the next book to see how that grows. Now for our book boyfriend of the week, no surprise here, I'm giving it to Carrion Swift because he is a Fae king in waiting. I love him. I've loved him from day one, have I not? Sexy Carrion Swift, book boyfriend. Our power scale this week starts with Everlane because she's a mess, but I am very happy that she's surviving. Then we have Loreth. Love me a little bit of Loreth. He followed them in, he battled, and he was there to support and help and fight alongside Sarah's, Kingfisher, and Carrion. Next up, we have Fisher. He did the Smoke and Mirrors act where he stabbed Bellicon, which was quite cool, but apart from that, he didn't really do anything. Then we have Carrion Swift because he is like revealed to be like a Fae king. So cool. And finally, we have Sarah's Fane because she's the new queen of Sansaroth and she met the gods and she's in control of like every element. So that's going to be very cool to uncover what that means. Going into the new book, I'm going to say the most likely to die is going to be Ren and Everlane, and I think they're going to die together after they get married. Is that sick of me? Maybe it is. Our spice and tension meter this week are both 0. There was no spice and there was no yearning, no tension, no anything. She was just dying. And he was like, I'm coming. So it was just kind of like, okay. Now, our quote of the week was by Teladius, and he said, "There are two kinds of forever alchemist. One is heaven, the other is hell. It doesn't matter what I do. Make sure you choose your version of immortality wisely." I think that's definitely a peek behind the curtain about what is to come and how Saris evolves with her immortality, and I'm so excited to see how that is uncovered. The new book is coming out, I think, in November, so I'm definitely looking forward to reading it with you guys. Let me know what you give Quicksilver. I know that there is a ton of 5-star reviews of this book, so I think each to their own. For me, it's a 3.5, but I'm definitely looking forward to the next one, and I'm going to give it a chance. But it was super fun reading Quicksilver for our first book club, and I hope you enjoyed it as well. Our next book, I'm super excited about because it has been on my TBR forever, and we are going to be reading Spark of the Everflame. Now, this is on Kindle Unlimited, so if you have a KU membership, then you can just download it there. You don't have to spend any money. I've heard such amazing things about it. Now, for next week with Spark of the Everflame, please read chapters 1 through 10, and I'll see you next Wednesday. Love you guys. Happy reading. Bye.